Park Sejun was an ordinary human with a dream that was common for most people like him, and he miraculously got a chance to fulfill his dream, but it was in a way that he never expected to. We see a glimpse of his successful life as a farmer in the tower at the beginning of the story. He sends out a talking cat salesman named T to sell magical cherry tomatoes that earn a great price. And then he finishes working with his rabbit friends and enjoys his life as a farmer. But that was not how this story started. It started 10 years ago on Earth, when 99 floored black towers suddenly spawned all over the world. They were a complete mystery until people who had been reported missing emerged from the towers. And they told the world about the tower, a place full of monsters and riches. They could grow as a warrior or a magician in the tower, and as they grew, they could climb up the floors of the tower and earn money. And the most valuable thing they found was a golden ticket that allowed normal people to enter the tower. 10 years after that, the ticket had become very expensive, and Sejun was saving money to buy it. But one day, while returning home from work, he saw the portal that absorbed people into the tower. He jumped into the portal and found himself in a cave that was on the first floor of the tower. He was initially too shocked and disoriented to think rationally, but then he decided to survive till he could get out of the cave. To solve the problem of food, Sejun planted a few of the vegetables he had with him in the cave. His coming here was a mistake, and the tower manager, a dragon, wanted to correct it. The tower manager went out to see Sejun, but it was on a blue moon, a total eclipse that was a monthly event on this floor. Sejun collapsed and never met the manager, but his green onion plants grew to giant size overnight and became a good source of food, fiber, and firewood. Sejun befriended a couple of white farming rabbits who joined him as his helpers in cultivating crops. He discovered fire using a plastic water bottle as a lens, and using fire, he could catch fish from the pond.
From researching and script writing to editing and mastering our best manhwa review channel, I will work hard to roll out the highest quality manhwa entertainment videos twice or more a week. If you like what I do here, please consider supporting the channel. To learn more about how to support the channel, check out the link in the description box down below, and if you can't give or simply don't even feel like it, that's okay too. I am just happy you're here. Thank you so much.
Sejun's food habits diversified as he could now cook food too. Then the rabbit couple gave birth to a bunch of cute and energetic baby rabbits. And soon after that, another blue moon night came and imbued a tomato fruit with its power. The fruit ripened into a blue magical cherry tomato, and harvesting it caused Sejun to be awakened as a tower farmer. Although Sejun was initially disappointed and wanted to throw it all away, he thought of the rabbits and decided to continue farming. The tower manager issued a quest to Sejun and asked for the blue cherry tomato in exchange for a job-related skill. It also threatened to kill Sejun if he refused to complete the quest. Sejun obeyed, but this started a cycle of the manager demanding more and more food from him in exchange for nothing. But one day, Sejun stood up to the manager and told him that he would not give it food even if it wanted to kill him. They got into a standoff, and Sejun brought the manager to the point where it was about to apologize. But the situation was resolved soon, and Sejun gave the food to the manager. Now he has 2 job-related skills, sowing and harvest, that help him level up by simply sowing and harvesting crops. On the next blue moon night, Sejun found a blue cherry tomato and a blue sweet potato that were both blessed by the power of the blue moon. He could not control his curiosity and harvested them even though he was almost killed by a monster bear during the last blue moon. The manager demands he gives them to it, but Sejun is able to convince the manager to let him go this time. He eats them instead, and they permanently increase his stats. The sweet potatoes are also ready after that, and Sejun harvests them and then uses their sprouts to plant them for another crop. This gives him the experience he needs to level up, and a new feature called the Seed Store opens. Sejun gets 1 tower coin as a congratulatory reward, and he uses 0.1 tower coin to buy 1,000 carrots because the rabbits want him to grow carrots. Sejun decides to plant the carrot seeds, and someone is watching him from outside the cave. This chapter starts with the husband rabbit and wife rabbit laying on their bellies in front of mounds of soil. They are excitedly chatting about something as their children frolic around behind them. And Sejun watches them from his regular spot too. The rabbits start flirting with each other, and Sejun wonders what has gotten into them recently. He had planted carrot seeds on a patch of land a few days ago, and even though the seeds had not even sprouted yet, the rabbit couple was acting like this in front of the place where he planted carrot seeds. Sejun wonders if they love carrots so much that they spend most of their time daydreaming about them. But he decides to leave them to themselves and take a nap himself. After he wakes up, Sejun plans to pollinate the flowers and cut the green onions. Sejun closes his eye, and a baby rabbit also sleeps with him. but then he notices a buzzing sound whizzing past his ear. Sejun tries to swat away whatever is bothering him without losing sleep, but since nothing changes, he gets up. He is frustrated and says, why did a bug suddenly show up now? But when he looks at the cause of the buzzing noise, he finds it to be a giant and cute bee. The bee looks at Sejun curiously, and he stammers for a while before saying she was so cute. He thinks this is a monster in the form of a bug. He calls the bee close so that he can read what kind of monster she is. But that happiness at meeting a cute thing vanishes when Sejun finds that it was a poison honeybee. He is scared and flinches as he reads the name, and he turns back to ask the rabbits if they knew whether the bee was dangerous or not. But the rabbit couple is already taking their children back to their burrow. They are scared of the bee too, and Sejun is stunned as he watches them run. He screams at the rabbits, calling them mean. His face twists as he asks them how they could leave him alone like this. The remaining information is given by the tower manager, who tells Sejun that the poison honeybees were carnivores that hunted monsters with their poison stings. The bee stingers were very dangerous, and the manager advised Sejun to stay away from them. Sejun is scared after reading that the bees eat meat. He thinks that they cease to be honeybees at this point. The bee flies towards him, and Sejun tries to shoo it away without any result. He says that he was just bones and had no meat for her to eat. He asks the bee to spare him, but she is still moving towards him, and Sejun sees her as a fearsome monster. He is fumbling around with his other hand when he finds something he can use to fend off the bee. It is just a broken tomato branch with a flower, and Sejun swings it towards the bee. He asks her to eat it instead of him. The bee curiously looks at the tomato flower, and Sejun is still afraid of her as she moves towards the flower. But when he opens his eyes, he finds that the bee was actually feeding on the flower. Sejun is shocked, but then the bee smiles at him after feeding. Sejun asks the tower manager if he is sure that the bees are carnivores, and there is no reply from the manager. But then Sejun remembers something very basic: bees love nectar. He approaches the honeybee and tells her that if she was hungry, she could feed on other flowers as well. Sejun tells her to eat to her heart's content, and the poison honeybee flies to the flowers happily. Sejun smiles at himself. While he was initially scared, he found something good after all. At this rate, he will not have to artificially pollinate the cherry tomatoes anymore. Then he spots the rabbit family hiding behind his rock. Sejun gives them a scornful glance and says that they ran away because they were worried only about themselves. And he asks them how they still had the nerve to come back. The rabbits try to soothe Sejun's anger by clinging to him and acting cute. And he says that he will not stop being mad at them. But then the poison honeybee returns after feeding. She flies straight towards Sejun, and he takes a few steps back until he is forced to stop by his rock. He asks the bee if she is not full yet, and as she comes close, Sejun is worried about his safety. But the bee lands on his stomach, and after adjusting his t-shirt a bit and stretching, she lays down in her sleeping position. Sejun also realizes that the bee did not mean to harm or scare him, she just wanted to sleep. And he feels that she was too cute, even while sleeping. But a small part of his mind is still anxious, and Sejun asks the bee that she isn't going to sting him. And this time, the rabbits have also not run away. Sejun has another chapter to add to his diary about getting lost in the tower. His family in the dungeon gained one more member today. A few weeks have passed since Sejun's first meeting with the bee, and the tomato crops are ready to be harvested again. The wall where Sejun was marking the number of days is also showing 24 characters. Each character meant 5 days, and that means he has been here for 120 days. We see Sejun harvesting tomatoes along with the wife rabbit while the husband rabbit is watering the carrot seedlings, and the baby rabbits are still playing around. Sejun is getting disturbed by the baby rabbits playing near him, and he scolds them and tells them to go somewhere else. The baby rabbits run away without a care. And then Sejun looks at the rest of their siblings. They were also busy playing with each other, and he felt good seeing them so carefree. He says that they were having a great time. And of course, they had to play around when they were still young. And then the poison honeybee also comes to him and sits on his shoulder. Sejun asks her if she has sucked all the nectar for today as she lands. Sejun remembers that several weeks have passed since the poison honeybee came here and became a member of their family. He tells her that it is going to be lunchtime soon. And the bee is also excited about it as she rubs her cheek against Sejun's cheek. Sejun says that the routine of the poison honeybee was fixed. She goes to work in the field in the morning, and that is also when she sucks nectar. And then, in the evening, she returned to the forest outside the cave. And thanks to her, Sejun's workload had decreased. Sejun calls the rabbits, saying that it is time to eat. And they all come running towards him. Sejun thinks that the poison honeybee was probably not going back to her group or her hive. Maybe she did not have a hive. As they are eating, Sejun is holding a roasted green onion stem, and the honeybee is sitting on it. She had started spitting honey a few days ago, and right now she was doing the same. The honey spreads over the roasted onion stem, creating another dish called honey onion. The sweet flavor of the freshly roasted green onion was enhanced by the sticky and sweet honey of the poison honeybee. And Sejin is the one who knows the truth about the statement. He takes a bite of the honey onion and exclaims that it is sweet and delicious. And the rabbits also share the sentiment because they are also eating the honey onion. Sejin talks to the honeybee and tells her that he was scared of her at first. He thought that she was poisonous and, hence, dangerous. But thanks to her, he was able to quickly get honey. And he also expanded his field with her help. As Sejin enjoys the honey onion, he says that in a few months he will eat so much honey that it will match what bears in the wild do. He used to be jealous of bears for eating too much honey, but that would stop happening in a few months. The Tower Master also gives Sejin a message, saying that it is happy for him. But he does it where Sejin cannot see it immediately. And as Sejin turns to see the message from the Tower Master, it disappears. A few more days have passed, and Sejin thinks that the blue moon is also going to come soon.
If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to watch more videos like these, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. From researching and script writing to editing and mastering our best manhwa review channel, I will work hard to roll out the highest quality manhwa entertainment videos twice or more a week. If you like what I do here, please consider supporting the channel. To learn more about how to support the channel, check out the link in the description box down below, and if you can't give or simply don't even feel like it, that's okay too. I am just happy you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next video.